to the Makin's Clay Design Studio. I'm Cindi McGee. Today I'm going to be showing you a holiday project that focuses on one of the unique properties of Makin's Clay. When Makin's Clay is rolled thin, it remains flexible and lightweight, and in that form it can be die cut with craft punches or decorative scissors. We're going to be making a beautiful holiday ornament with die cut. And I also wanted to show you that Makin's Clay is great for gift tags that double as ornaments, so it's like a gift and an ornament for future years. It's also perfect for children to make holiday ornaments, like this one we recently did in a classroom. So let's get started. First, I'm going to show you how to open your Makin's Clay. It comes in an outer package, and then inside, the clay is double wrapped. You would first remove this outer wrapping. Now, at this point, you can either cut off the amount of clay that you're going to use, or if you're going to be using all of it like we are today, you can go ahead and open it. Makin's Clay is soft and pliable right out of the package, and it's ready to use. It does not have to be conditioned, making it a perfect modeling medium for people of all ages. Now, when your clay is super fresh like this, if it sticks to the packaging, there are a few ways that you can remove it so that you don't have waste. You can either use a tool and scrape it, but I find it easier to take my clay and pounce. And as you continue to do this, that clay that's left on your package, you can see it starting to lift, will all come off and you won't have any waste. So now that I have all of my clay out of the package, it's time to roll it. I did want to mention that if I was not using this entire piece of clay right now, it is important to put any clay you're not using into a Ziploc bag or some sort of sealed container with a damp paper towel or a moist towelette to keep it fresh. As long as you keep it like that, it's ready to use for quite some time. You can also spritz it with a little water while you're working with it if it begins to dry out a little bit, because it is an air dry product. So let's start rolling our clay. We're going to be using the Ultimate Clay Machine, and one of the unique things about the Ultimate Clay Machine is that it has non-stick rollers, making it perfect for any type of modeling medium. It also has 9 thickness settings. Always start at a number 1, which is the widest setting, and roll up 1 setting at a time for the best results. I flatten my clay a little bit to start the process. And again, I'm going to make sure, I'm going to turn the handle and make sure I'm on a setting number 1. And then I just place it in the machine and roll. And it starts that process of giving you a sheet. Now I'm going to go to a number 2. And then I'm going to jump to a 3. And you can see how beautifully it comes out of the machine with those non-stick rollers. 4. You can also see when you roll it thin like this how much clay you actually get out of that one 120 gram package that we're using. Now I'm going to only need a little bit. I'm going to cut off some of this for now and I'll continue rolling. Makes your pieces a little more workable the longer that they get. And now I'm on a setting number 5. And today, for this project, we're ending on a setting number 6. So you can see we have a lot of clay from that one package. Next, I'm going to show you how I added texture to this sheet of clay. Next, we're going to texture our clay. There are many ways that you can texture Makin's clay, including rubber stamps, fabric, and other materials. But we prefer to use our Makin's texture sheets. Makin's texture sheets are double-sided, and you can use either side, and they both work equally well. One will inset your design, the other will raise it up. If you have any issues with your clay sticking to these texture sheets, a little bit of cornstarch works as a perfect release agent. Now, you can either place your texture sheet over the clay and then roll it with a hand roller, or some people do run it through the Ultimate Clay machine. For what I'm doing today, I'm just going to use my fingers to transfer because I'm making a bit of a collaged texture effect. So I'm going to place that one, and then I'm just going to move it and randomly add my textures. And then I'm going to bring in another sheet and mix that one in. And I used, I believe, 4 different texture sheets for this. You just would continue until your entire surface was covered. Once you have gotten all of your textures transferred to your rolled clay, you set it aside and let it dry for 24 hours. I also did this exact same procedure for our 60-gram package of grape leaf clay and let that dry for 24 hours. And now we're ready to die cut. Next, I'm going to show you how to die cut the sheets of Makin's clay. I'm using a Sizzix Big Shot machine and this great Poinsettia die from Sizzix. You can use any die cutting machine that you choose, and you would just follow the manufacturer instructions on how to use it. For this machine, we place our die in, and I'm going to take my sheet of rolled textured clay. You do want to make sure that you place the clay over whatever the image that you're trying to cut is. And then you would roll it through your machine. I'm going to set this aside. And you can see how beautifully this die cut the sheet of dried and textured Makin's clay. Now, to make the poinsettia ornament that I'm making today, you would cut 2 sets of these, and you would also cut 2 sets of the large flower in the green rolled clay from the grape leaf green. So now that we've die cut 2 sets of each of the flowers in red and our green for our leaves, I'm going to add a little shimmer to them. There are lots of ways to color Makin's clay. You can add acrylic or oil-based paints over it. You can use colored pencils, permanent markers, permanent ink pads, mica powders, and more. One of my favorite ways is to use these cream lusters, like these metallic lusters from DecoArt. I'm going to start with this pretty red, and I just use my finger. You can use a paintbrush, obviously. And I don't want to cover all of my clay, I just want to highlight the texture that we've applied. And now there's, you can see that shimmer, it's starting to highlight those textured areas. So I will just repeat that on all of the red ones with my red metallic luster, and then for the green, again, this is a little brighter green than my base leaf, so I'm really only using a tiny amount. But you can see how beautifully it brings out the texture from our texture sheets on our dry clay. And it's a Christmas ornament, so we want it to have a little bit of sparkle. So I would do both of my green leaves, and then we're ready to begin assembling. Now we're ready to assemble. I'm going to start with my base green leaves and a little touch of Beacon's 527. And then I'm going to layer my red flower so that the petals show between the base leaf. And then I'm going to layer the next one again so that my petals are reversed. And then lastly, our smallest one. To make the center of our poinsettia, I'm using some yellow Makin's clay, and I made just some little balls. Add a bit of the adhesive, and then placed the little balls. You can put 5 or 6, however many you'd like. We'll just stick with these 3 for now. And then I used our tool with this bullet tip, and I impressed it over the balls to kind of give those a bit of texture also. Once you have your first flower built, you would flip it over, and then glue your ribbon to the back. This is the loop that we're going to use to hang it from our Christmas tree. And then repeat the process. with the next leaf, and then so on. So once you have both sides of your flower glued on and you allowed that adhesive to dry fully, because again, Makin's clay stays flexible when it is dry, you can then take those petals individually and give them shape and dimension by bending them forward. And then I did you can see how already you're getting some great dimension, and I just did it on the reverse. And that way you have a double-sided ornament hanging on your tree, so no matter which way someone might see it, it still looks pretty. We hope you enjoyed learning about one of the unique properties of Makin's clay, that when it's rolled thin, it remains lightweight and flexible. It can be die cut or cut with punches. It's easy to create great holiday ornaments and more. We invite you to explore the possibilities and tune in next time to the Makin's Clay design team.